we're very excited to do our first live interview with you.
Yes, I'm very nervous. I'm so sweaty and shiny right now.
It's a glow.
It's a good glow. It's just like, it's also very me to be a bit of a frazzled, glowy mess. I'll own it.
Well, we're excited because we're here for the PBJTour. So it's first Dogwood inaugural event tour. And you're representing women.
Yes.
The only woman on the tour with Paul, Jason, and Billy.
Correct.
So we wanted to start off by asking you about music. So since you're currently on a musical tour, what has the creative process been like for you in terms of working with Billy? Because I know that that's something that you all have been doing and rehearsing and sharing part of that with us.
Yeah, Billy's awesome because Billy's kind of, I like to think of him as a bit of a musical genius because his brain goes faster than I think his verbal skills will give him to do. And so he's always coming up with ideas. And he and I line up in a very similar way that he wants to rehearse. He wants to get things right. He wants to be on top of things. But he's also really supportive of like, if you fuck up, you fuck up. Can I swear on here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. Fuck yeah. But he's really been an incredible, over the last, 3 years that I've been on the circuit, incredibly supportive with the music, and he was like, you should be writing music, you should be touring, and I'm so grateful to him. He's been my go-to. He and Jason have been my biggest musical cheerleaders on the circuit, and I'm so glad that I get to perform with Billy because it also gets an opportunity to showcase his talents in a very different way than maybe the fandom is used to seeing. And he's the most talented guitarist I've ever had the pleasure of knowing, and I feel like it is an honor to be able to perform with him. And I can't wait to see what else he comes up with on this tour.
Yeah, I mean, something I learned about you is that you're a writer.
Yes.
And just last night you performed original music that you wrote. Can you talk a little bit about you as a writer? Yeah,
so I didn't know. So my background in writing, my parents are both journalists. And so I grew up writing stories. I always wrote stories. And then when I became a theater actor right out of school, I started writing plays, started touring, performing in those plays. Started writing some short films. I've written one feature-length film. And then I was in the writer's room for a season of a animated television show. Just for one season, and then the second season I was unavailable for it, so I sadly didn't get to do it again. It's a lot of work writing, maybe more work than I have time for right now, but because I have writing experience, I wasn't scared to write. But Billy was really encouraging me to write more because he knew I had a voice, he knew I had things I wanted to say based purely on the things I talk about in the panels or in the podcast. It's like, you have things to say that need to be heard. And so he kind of came up with a musical hook, and then I came up with the words for it. He came up with kind of an idea, and we collaborated. We went back and forth really over email. It was a wild way to do things now. And we wrote this song together, and it kind of felt simple and easy, and it was so exciting, and I can't wait to do more.
Awesome. I'm going to switch to ask you a little bit about friendship.
Yeah, give it.
Which is a topic that, I feel like you and Kim talk about on your podcast.
Yes.
Which you do have a podcast.
Yes.
Basically we've seen like this really beautiful blossoming friendship in the circuit tour amongst the women in the Supernatural cast. And I was hoping that you could give advice in terms of like how you build friendships, how you connect to other women, and what that's like for you.
Well, I connect very strongly to women who are very open and are very intimate. And I don't mean intimate in like a romantic way. I mean intimate in a way where they are willing to let others in. And I really like to get to know people intimately. I like to know about things that bother them, things that bring them joy, bring them tears. And I think that's why Kim and I connected so strongly, so quickly, is because she's a very open person, and she's very interested in getting to know other people's pains, joys, loves, sorrows. And so the women that I connect to the strongest on the circuit are women that are very open, are very self-actualized, are very unafraid of what they bring to the world, even if it's good and bad. They're happy to be messy. They're welcoming growth. So I think that any advice that I could give about friendship would have to do with returning the opportunity for holding space for other people without the need to fix other people. So that's one thing that is really important with me and Kim, is that we don't try to fix each other. We hold space for each other. We're there for each other. We listen to each other. And we also communicate openly. If we have challenges in our friendship, we bring them up with each other before we bring them up with other people. Because that's also, I think, a stigma that women get a lot, is about, gossip. And I make sure to not indulge in that. It's one thing to vent, one thing to gossip. So if I have a problem with a female friendship, I like to approach that person first to see if that problem can be solved. So I encourage all women to communicate. Communicate, even if it's to a detriment. I think truth is always better than not.
Awesome. I feel like it's not too much to say that you all are role models. And I think that's like a really, really beautiful thing. And that's why we're Nerds and Beyond, and we ask about like nerdy things and we ask about like professional things, but I felt like it was really important to ask you that question too.
Yeah.
Because you all fill this role, I think, in fandom, and I think that it's just really appreciated.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So I want to nerd out with you about theater.
Yes.
I love theater. I know you love theater. You just saw Waitress.
Yes.
You were in The Humans. You've been like in companies and touring and all that jazz. So literally. And so tell me about your favorite musical and your favorite play.
Well, The Humans was a big deal for me. I saw Humans with Michelle from Stans a couple years ago when I was in town. She was like, this show's getting good reviews, let's go see it. And I saw it, and it changed my life. And I said, oh my God, I need to be in this play. I'd never seen anything like it. And then when I found out it was coming to Vancouver, I contacted the theater company, which I had worked for once before, but not in a long time, and asked them if I could audition for the part, because I know they are only seeing a small amount of people. And then I got the part. And that very seldom happens for actors, that they like attempt to get a specific role without somebody, asking them to audition for it. So that was a big deal for me, and that show will always hold a massive place in my heart. It was also a big challenge for me as an actor to do that role. It was very emotional, and it's very hard to do 8 shows a week when you are emoting that much on stage. So I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity in a million different ways. And then my love of musicals changes. I mean, it goes back and forth. I love a lot of old musicals that I grew up with, like Ragtime and Avenue Q and all these, ones from, I don't know, like the early 2000s, like when I went to theater school. And now I'm just learning about these new musicals like Waitress. I didn't get a chance to Hadestown, which is a bummer. But being a musical theater actor is like being an athlete, and I say this all the time, and I know this now from doing this tour, like you really have to conserve, but even more so as a musical theater actor, because you're doing 8 shows a week for as long as that run is, which is sometimes years. So you've got to make sure that you have your voice there. I'm just doing this for a week, and then I'm like, I can rest, but these actors are doing it forever, so I'm constantly bowing down to theater actors. I think that they are some of the greatest creative people in our planet, and so grateful that they're here to encourage us to see things from a different point of view.
Awesome. I want to ask you, and we mentioned a little bit before, about the Wayward podcast. Mm-hmm. It's topical, funny, creative. It's amazing. You have like an entire following for it. So can you talk a little bit about the topics and what inspires the topics that you actually put on the podcast? And yeah, that's my first question.
Okay, so the topics is kind of like, sometimes Kim and I will have this brilliant idea and we'll go, let's talk about this. It's going to be fascinating. And sometimes it's like, what the fuck are we going to talk about today? Let's talk about popsicles, you know? And what we've learned is that some episodes will come out better than others. Sometimes we'll do an episode and one of us, Kim, will edit. Kim does like 99.9% of the editing. And she will send it to me to post, and she'll be like, this is shit. And I'll post it, and the fans will love it. So we realize it's not up to us. All we do is we provide content, and you guys give us feedback. And that's what's great about the podcast, because it is Kim and I speaking and a microphone, but it really is all of us, you know, providing for each other. So we get a lot of our topic ideas from the fandom. Sometimes people will just send us ideas. So even now, like, I was asking people questions about what they wanted to hear. So now we have a couple more topic ideas, you know?
Yeah. In terms of guests, you have like really amazing people on. Do you have somebody who would be a dream guest?
Well, I mean, there's dream guests. I know Kim would say Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
For sure. I would love to have Michael. I would love to have on. He has a great podcast from Left on Laurel.
Mm-hmm.
Rose Mom, yeah. I would love to have like some, I don't know, I would honestly also love to have people who aren't actors and who aren't Supernatural related. I'd love to have regular people on the podcast to hear. I just love people's
I feel like
perspective.
Scout would be really cool.
I know. We
the
always,
three of you are like a team.
we make Scout come to the PJ parties sometimes as our special guest, and so we're always like, how much are we exploiting how much we love Scout? We'll give her some time off. But yeah, we love hearing other people's, I love hearing other people's perspective. I think Kim shares that with me. And I think anybody that shares something that we can learn from will be an incredible guest on the podcast.
Awesome. So I want to talk about your social media.
Okay.
And it seems like health and balanced living seems something that you showcase on your social media and seems special to you or a big part of your life. So one question that we have is, and you've mentioned in your podcast too, like what keeps you motivated on some of the health, I guess, trends and different things that you're doing, and like what's something that you currently love?
So the motivation, the reason I like to share stuff on social media is a couple of things. Okay, so specifically with the body image things, I think it's really important that we as, you know, society, but I want to say generally, more specifically for women, recognize that women who do not look perfect are still beautiful. And I think that we live in such an Instagrammable world now. Everything is very filtered and curated, and that's okay. I love a filtered and curated photo, don't get me wrong. But it is important to recognize that there are so many different kinds of beauty. And I have really curated my Instagram feed so that the things I'm filled with on a daily basis are women of, you know, different ethnicities, of different sizes, of, you know, maybe women who have disabilities, because I think I need to see what difference looks like. But I also really want to make sure I'm not perpetuating the myth that it is easy to stay healthy. It is a challenge, and it is a challenge I take very seriously, but I also make it fun. And so that's, I guess, how I stay on track, is that I make it fun. I love exercising. I also love food. I also love my body. And it is possible to love all of those things, but I think that often women are given a disconnect with their bodies. And so they think of their bodies as a purely surface, vanity kind of thing, when really our bodies are us. This is who we are. It's not a separate thing from our minds. And so we need to really love our bodies in every way they look, even when they don't look the way maybe we feel really good about. Still us. You gotta be kind to it, and you wake up the next morning and maybe you are a little kinder to it every day. And I think that that's so important, and I don't think that was around when I was a young woman. And I want to, if I can be of any help to younger women, I want to make sure that I'm reminding people that they are beautiful and that they are their bodies, and they need to constantly love themselves every day.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so the next question I want to ask you is about Supernatural.
Okay. Oh God. Good luck to me. Good luck to me.
It's a simple question. With the ending of Supernatural coming, can you talk about what the show has meant to you?
Oh boy. So Supernatural, the show, if I'm on this season, it will be my 6th season, and it's just crazy to say, but it was probably my 3rd television job ever. So I never anticipated it would be anything like it is. Like I thought I was just showing up to do a job that happened to be really fun with these 2 guys who thought I was really funny. It's literally what I thought it was going to be. And it's turned into not only a recurring guest star, but a spin-off, an opportunity to tour the world, to meet a fandom, the fandom that is the most powerful fandom in the world, that is changing the world with their charitable organizations and just everything that they're doing for others. It's brought music back into my life. There isn't a part of my life right now that Supernatural has not affected. So when I found out Supernatural was ending, I found out about it quite a while ago, but when they announced it, I wasn't surprised. I knew about it, but it was still, it was a strange realization of, oh, this is going to end. This massive, historical, worldwide thing will come to an end. And that made me sad. It made me sad for a lot of relationships that will eventually drift into something else. But I guess in a way it made me excited, because I like to think of endings as new beginnings. So it made me excited to go, I wonder what this beginning will be for not only me, but for everybody in the fandom. Because there's no way that people are going to take this momentum and just let it go. This is a huge thing that we as a Supernatural family has built, and we will continue to build outward. And I think that it can be really, really exciting.
Thank you, Briana. I think I'm not being interviewed here, but I just want to say that I think that you have contributed so many beautiful things to the fandom yourself, and I think that we're really grateful for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So at Nerds and Beyond, we always ask nerdy questions.
Right.
So these are kind of simple and fun, but hopefully we'll get to know you in a little bit of a different light. So, what's your favorite cartoon?
My favorite cartoon is Chip and Potato. She's on Netflix. And another cartoon, which I can't announce yet.
Ooh, okay. What's your favorite book?
Probably the one that's popping to mind right now is Four Agreements.
Great.
Good book.
What did you nerd out to when you were a kid?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Woo!
Call me.
We ask everyone this. So, if you had a lightsaber, what color would it be?
Hot pink.
Okay. The next questions are from the Pavot questionnaire.
What's that?
Which is from Inside the Actors Studio.
Oh, right. Okay.
So they're simple. Give us just whatever comes to your mind.
You got it.
What is your favorite word?
Sex.
What's your least favorite word?
Fart. Just kidding. I love the word fart. I don't know why I said that.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Authenticity.
What turns you off?
Lies.
What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of weeping when people haven't seen each other for a long time.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Nails on a chalkboard.
What
No. cutlery on a plate.
Oh. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would love to be a judge.
What profession would you not like to do?
A judge.
Alright. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You did good.
Nice. Alright, thank you, Bri. We love you.
Mwah.